Hi,
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Disney Nerd Herders Lazy Sunday Morning live stream. For those of you who don't remember, we used to do them on Sunday mornings all the time, and we switched to Wednesday nights at 7 for the Not Quite Ready for Prime Time live stream. But once in a while, we have a special guest who can't make our Wednesday night shows, and we will do them on Sunday mornings. Today, we have Scott Harris King.
Hello.
What's up, Scott? How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I am doing okay. And we have Avery in the background. We're going to be talking about the Crimebusters comic book series. Avery, look up where everyone can see you. Hi. He's reading a comic book right now. He's reading, actually, the Crimebusters comic book. And so we're going to be talking with Scott about the Crimebusters. And also, we're going to be talking to Scott. He's also a Walt Disney World fan. So we are going to be talking about Walt Disney World, our favorite place in the world.
Walt Disney in general.
And Disney in general.
Why is the comic book in black and white?
I don't know. Why are you so far back? We got to move up closer, buddy. You're so small.
Oh, you were talking to him. Okay.
No, not you. Not you.
Why is the comic book in black and white?
All right. So we have questions for, I guess, Scott. Avery has questions. Avery's not going to stay the whole show. He wants to. He has some questions. He wants to join us in the beginning.
Yep.
And he wouldn't wear his Super Avery shirt for us for some reason. Avery.
Because it was so creepy.
That's not creepy. It's your own shirt. It's your own artwork. Take pride in your artwork, man.
Why is
All right. So
ask your question.
why is the comic book in black and white?
ooh.
Well, there's a couple answers to that. The shortest answer is because I'm colorblind. So it's just much easier for me to do in black and white. It's very difficult for me to do the colors. Every time I color like a cover, I have to bring my wife in to look at the colors to make sure I didn't like make their skin green because I have done that in the past.
Oh.
So it's more difficult. It's also much more expensive. The comic costs about 50% more for every copy if I do it in color. And it would take a lot longer. It's already taking me 6 months to do an issue. It would probably take me 8 months if I did it in color.
Wow.
There's a lot of reasons. What I'm hoping to do, my plan is when I get 5 issues done, which will be hopefully the end of next year, I'm gonna collect them in a trade paperback like volume. And when I do that, I'm hoping to hire a colorist to colorize the whole. But for now, it's just too hard for me to do it in color. It would just be a complete mess if I tried.
I don't know, man. Maybe it might come out awesome. All these
It
different colors.
might, but I doubt it.
It's funny because when I read it, I didn't even really notice it was in black and white. You know, like I was just into the story that it didn't impact me, but that there was no color.
It does well with the shading in the to make it.
Personally, I'm a big fan of black and white. Some of my favorite comic artists are people who specialize in black and white. There's an artist back in the day named Alex Toth who used shadow and light for all of his stuff. You know, Frank Miller is another person who does that. People might be more familiar with him. So I like black and white, but in this case, it's less of an aesthetic choice and more just practical. It's just too hard for me personally to do in color.
Yeah.
So I want to welcome in Laura. Welcome into the chat. The Philly crew, welcome into the chat. And this morning we have Scott Harris King with us. He is the creator of the Crimebusters comic book series. And right here. Dun, dun, dun. So if you guys have any comic book questions for Scott, make sure you put them in the chat. And we're going to be discussing comic book series. We're going to be talking about Avery's special variant cover. We're going to be talking about the Disney World,
Disney
stuff, and we have questions for you and stuff. So, what do you want to cover first, Avery? Do you want to ask him any more questions?
Do you have any more questions?
Like, why is the Death Mask the first bad guy?
Why did you choose Death Mask as your first bad guy? I think it looks awesome.
So there's Death Mask. Death Mask is no spoilers, but the mystery in the first issue is regarding Death Mask. The story is called Return of the Death Mask, and that's because inspired in this story, one of the characters in my comic, Chuck Chandler, was a character from the Golden Age. He first appeared in 1942, and he had a series back in the 40s. there was a story in one of his issues where they found there was a murderer who would wear this like cursed like tiki mask. And so I thought it was a cool story, and it was basically just jumping off of that. You don't need to story or read it or anything. It's just more for kind of background stuff, my own entertainment, really, because there's very few people in the world that have read that comic at this point. But that's where that sort of came from originally.
Well, I really like that you do this stuff. I would never have known about that if it wasn't through you. You know, you're for anybody who doesn't know, me and Scott are pretty good friends from like 20 years now or so. And Scott is my go-to person for anything comics, anything comic books. I don't know any. Well, I'm gonna say I don't know anyone more knowledgeable about comics than you do. But that might sound like uh, a better compliment than it is. I don't know many comic books.
I'm just going to assume you know everybody, and
yes, I know everybody. So
I am the top.
way up there. But
yeah,
let me tell you this though: if you guys knew like a bazillion comic book people, and then you knew Scott, you would put him at the top of your list too. Put it that way. Welcome in, Mickey Sightings. Welcome, guys. You guys are another ones that can never join our Wednesday night shows. So welcome in. Awesome to have you here. Thrill Seeks. Awesome. Thank you for coming in. And is that everybody?
I think that's everybody.
All right. So, Avery, do you have any more questions for Scott?
What did you like? It's the monster, the death mask guy.
No, they look similar though. But yeah, Scott didn't know about the monster when he was doing this. Avery has a arch nemesis in his comic book series. That's the monster, right, Avery?
He calls him the monster, yeah.
Yeah, and there is some similarities to it, Avery. But if you actually put them close next to each other, it's not that similar.
He has horns.
The concept is kind of
He
similar.
just has a smiley face instead of a crazy person. And he is like insaner than this guy.
All right. So you want to think of some more questions while me and Mummy ask him our questions?
Oh, I think he wants to show his new character.
Oh, this is something he created for one of the vloggers. I don't know if you saw this yet, Scott, but there's one of our vlogger friends. His name is Shep, and Avery created this character called Shep Burglar, Stealer of Tacos. Are you ready to see this? It is Shep Burglar, Stealer of Tacos.
nice. Nice.
Make that for your first
Very
comic book.
crabbish and stuff, you know. Like you got the claws to grab the tacos, huh?
Yeah.
Like make
Yeah.
that for your first comic book.
No.
Avery, come on, man. All right, so let's get to some questions that I had. I know I had. Do you have any questions that you want to go first? Or you want me to just go?
Are we doing comic book related?
Yeah. So Scott, if you
let
want
me
to jump
see.
in at any time to steer the conversation a certain
Yeah.
way, feel free to do so because we're kind of leaving it kind of open. We have questions for you, but again, if we are avoiding something or missing something, just make sure you jump in.
Well, I know you're gonna have questions about this, but I just off the top, for the people who may not be aware of specifically why I'm here, my comic, The Crimebusters, currently the second issue is live on Kickstarter, and I asked Avery here to do a special variant cover, and Avery was nice enough to draw a cover. So if you get go to Kickstarter and you look at the second issue of The Crimebusters, there's a cover that Avery drew. It's the Super Avery variant cover, and it's got my characters drawn by me, and it's got Super Avery drawn by Avery. Yeah, it's just something I wanted to do. I love the Kickstarter community. One thing that's great about Kickstarter, if you haven't been there to look at comic books, is that if you go to like a comic book store, it's sort of like a gatekeeper. You can only get in the store if you're Marvel or Disney and you've got like a giant company. But on Kickstarter, anybody that has the passion for comics can present their comics directly to the audience. And so if you go there, there's a huge array of creators that don't usually have a voice in the traditional comic market. There's a lot of, minority creators and LGBTQ creators, but also there are neurodiverse creators. There's other comic creators on the autism spectrum that have made comics and published them through Kickstarter. So it's something that I love about Kickstarter. And when I was working on this issue, I wanted to sort of provide a little bit of a platform for people to see Avery's work.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for doing that. I just
Yes, that's wonderful.
I need to improve on my hosting abilities and just obviously introducing the subject matter would help. Thank you, Scott. You're awesome. I do have I could share that. I don't know if you want me to share that Crimebusters Kickstarter thing. I don't know if you want to share that or if that's going to be an issue.
Sure, we can do. I don't know how this chat works, so
all right. So let me try to share screen. Okay, bear with me. Share the screen, Chrome tab, and then we have Crimebusters here. Boom, and share. All right. So hopefully this works. Let's see what this works. Now, are you seeing it, Scott?
yeah, I can see it.
Awesome. So this is Super Avery's variant cover where you have Chuck Chandler and Trixie Trouble, and then you have Avery, Super Avery in the middle, Champion of Justice. And this is part of the the link is in the description. In regards to this is an awesome cover, by the way.
I love that.
Thanks.
And I love the other one where there's squeaks in like the there's like a battle scene going on in some room where squeaks
Does it show the mystery?
Oh yeah, that was from the first issue.
Yeah. Oh, this one looks cool too. Did you do an interview with this artist too?
Yeah, this is an artist named Heather Farrington. She lives up in Vermont, and with this series of covers, I'm doing a series of covers for every issue that looks like the old Nancy Drew novels. So each of those, and they all feature Trixie, who's a female investigator. So I wanted to have a female comic creator do all those covers. So Heather Farrington did the first one here.
That's awesome. And there's you.
There's me, yep, cosplaying as my own character. But again, first of all, I totally encourage that of anyone. But also, yeah, I've always been a fan of, for the last 10 years or so, of Crimebuster, Chuck Chandler, my main character.
Yeah.
It's actually me before I even started working on it.
Are you going to be the 14th Doctor? Look at that.
Yeah, it could be. No spoilers, but I have a non-disclosure. The BBC won't allow me to talk about my plans.
Let's get back to how do I? There we are. Now, while I'm kind of new to this screen sharing stuff too. So while I was doing this, were we on the side over here all the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. So let's stop sharing. But for anyone who's interested, check out the link. I put the link to Scott's YouTube channel in the description below, as well as the Kickstarter link if you guys want to check it out and support the comic that's coming out. Now, you said they're going to print but late next month?
Yeah, the Kickstarter ends on the 28th, and then the way Kickstarter works is there's a period of 2 weeks before they send me the money. So I'll receive the money sometime around the 15th of March, and I anticipate the comic will be 100% done. It's probably about 90% done right now. I'm just doing the last few pages. So as soon as I get the money at the middle of March, I'm going to go to the printer right away. I'll probably receive the comics sometime in the middle of April, and then I'll mail them out to everybody.
I love having all the different variant covers. Is Avery done with us now?
He needs a tissue.
Oh, he needs a tissue. Okay.
He's had it. He's out of here.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back.
He will. Yeah, he'll be.
But yeah, I ordered all the ones. I ordered the package with the all the different variant covers because I love that. And then I ordered some. I think it also has some prints and stuff because I really like the prints when we went to see you at the show and you had the different prints and stuff out there. I like that stuff, and I'm hoping to.
We'll have to frame
when
them.
I redo this poker room down here, I can get rid of a bunch of the poker losers, degenerates, and put some of your stuff up there. That'd be cool.
Buster stuff.
Okay, buddy. Did you have any more questions for Scott?
Like, is the second book based off of the Haunted Mansion?
Ooh.
Actually, it is in a way. It's, I would say, less based off of, but inspired by. I don't know if. I don't want to test your skills in sharing things, but if there's some way to show the regular cover, the one where they have the The
Yeah, let me do that.
So the second issue is called Secret of the Ghost Bride. When I was working on the comic, I knew I wanted to do, the series is kind of Scooby-Doo-ish. It's inspired by Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. It's scroll back up to it's up at the top. I knew I wanted to do like right here.
There it is.
Awesomeness right there.
We're going to play the cover.
Yeah, so you may recognize that building as the silhouette of the Haunted Mansion in Florida. I knew I wanted to do a haunted house story, a ghost story, and I immediately thought of the Bride in the Attic, because when I was a kid, as some of you know, most of you probably know, being Disney fans, there's been several different brides in the attic. They've replaced the bride over the years. But when I was a kid, it was the original Florida bride, who was by far the scariest of any of the attic brides. She just absolutely terrified me as a child. Nowadays, I go through the Haunted Mansion. Of course, it's fun, and you don't think of it as being that scary. But as a kid, in the late 70s and the early 80s, when they had that original Bride in the Attic, she scared the crap out of me. So that was the original inspiration for my story. There are a few little references in the art, just as a nod to that. It's the story's not based on the Haunted Mansion or the ghost or the the Bride in the Attic, but that was the inspiration. So I wanted to do a few little like Easter eggs for Disney fans that might notice, like that building there is based on the building in Florida. And again, when they get into the haunted house and they're exploring it, there's a few things you'll recognize as being from the Haunted Mansion. So yeah, that is true.
Awesome. Yes, we do have Mouse Talks in the chats, and Walt from Mouse Talk, his favorite ride is the Haunted Mansion. So I'm pretty sure he will get a kick out of that if he wants to read this as his favorite ride. And I don't know anybody who doesn't love that ride. So
I know. I'm looking forward to reading it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Just to even see the bits and pieces related to it.
All
That'd be
right.
fun.
So I had some questions for you. We're getting on 11:17. Cool. So let's start. Do you mind if I start
Go
asking?
ahead.
Do you mind if I start asking? Let's bring this down.
Bring the questions.
Bring the questions. All right. Serious questions here. Does Squeaks join the duo in the future?
Yeah. So for people who haven't read the first issue, Squeaks is Chuck's pet / friend monkey. He's a very intelligent, highly trained monkey. And he appears in the backup story of the first issue. He's a character from the 40s. He will be joining them on more adventures. Right now, Chuck and Trickster are at college. And as you might expect, the dorm has strict rules about keeping monkeys in the dorm. So you're going to see a lot of Squeaks while they're at school. I just lost the chat here completely on my screen. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to see Squeaks again in issue 5, because they're going to be on a field trip to New York City, where Squeaks is. And then once we get to summer break, which won't be until issue 9, then Squeaks will be part of the main group for a while. As basically, it's just the logistics. If they're at college, Squeaks won't be there. But we will see him in the stories where they're not at college.
Cool. Awesome. So Dennis has a question. We have to go to the chat. He says, "Hello, herders. How is distribution being handled? Does he have a distributor? I hear the bride is drop dead gorgeous."
So I don't have a distributor. So the distribution, there's two ways. One is through Kickstarter itself. I'm basically use Kickstarter as a way to get orders. And when you go through Kickstarter, it'll give me your address and I'll mail you the comic directly. I also have a website set up. So after Kickstarter, any copies I have left will be available through my website. It's basically the same thing. You buy it online. I'll get your address and I'll mail it to you. I do also attend shows in the Boston area. If you happen to be local here, I'm going to be at a convention in Winchendon in May. I will be at the show in Fitchburg on August 1st. I'm going to be in Springfield on July 25. Those are the shows I currently have set up. I will probably also be at Mice in Cambridge in October, but I don't have that set up yet for sure. But so if you're local in the area, there's certain shows in Massachusetts that you can see me at. I might end up going to Portland over the summer as well, Portland, Maine. But otherwise, the the best way to get it is to go through the Kickstarter, and I'll just mail you the comic directly. It's a little more expensive because Kickstarter takes a cut out of it, and then I have to pay for shipping. So it's cheaper if you see me in person, but right now that's distribution that I have.
Yeah, we usually go to the Plastic Con one in Fitchburg every year, so
Yeah.
that'll be
Yeah,
cool
we'll be
seeing you
doing
there
that.
this time. We see you.
You can also get copies of the first issue if you're in Worcester at That's Entertainment. I think they still have a couple copies for sale there.
Oh, really?
That's about it.
Yeah, now we've been to that store many times. Where is there like a local comic book? Or
Yeah, there's a shelf. It's actually not where the other comics are. It's more in the middle of the store, where they have the rows of long boxes. One of the end caps at the end of those rows, it says local creators, and it's got Crimebusters, and then it's got a bunch of other comics from people in the area that make comics.
Oh, cool.
awesome. Yeah, we love going there. We love the big Spider-Man on the ceiling and
Yeah.
stuff. It's pretty cool. What are you pointing to now again, sweetie?
This one. He's
All
asking a
right.
question.
All right, another question. Can you make it available through Amazon also with a CBR version?
Oh, I do have digital versions. Amazon does a lot of their comics through a thing called Comixology. You can buy Crimebusters #1 through Comixology. I'm having a little bit of a billing dispute with Amazon, so I don't know if issue 2 will be available. But through my website and through Kickstarter, I can send you a digital copy. It's a PDF format. It's not the same format, the CBR. So it depends on what kind of reader you're using to read it digitally. But of course, that will bypass any of the problems with shipping or their costs. So it's $6 for one issue, a single issue PDF, or $10 for both of them right now.
Yeah.
If you go to my website, it'll ask you to sign up for my mailing list if you want to. And if you do that, you'll get a link to a PDF that's got a free 6-page preview of issue 1. It's also got the first 3 pages of issue 2, and it's got a bunch of the variant covers and stuff. So you can get a free digital preview of the comics. And you can also see that stuff on the Kickstarter page.
So what is the website page?
It's crimebustercomics.com.
Crimebustercomics.com. All right,
Yeah.
so you guys want to check it out. I also put the link to Scott's YouTube page and the link to the Kickstarter link in the description below. So if you guys want to just click on those, I'm sure you can get in touch with Scott. And do you have a link on your to your web page on your YouTube page? So that people can.
Yeah, there should be one there. Yeah.
All right, cool. So that way they can get to
I
it.
got a question.
All right, Avery's has another question for you.
Okay.
Does the third comic book has Iron Jaw in it?
Does the third comic book have Iron Jaw? Where did we get Iron Jaw from?
He's going through your book.
Oh yeah, Iron Jaw was Chuck Chandler's arch enemy back in the 40s and 50s. A lot of people that are fans of that series, they love Iron Jaw. I want to use Iron Jaw sparingly. So the short answer is no, he's not in issue 3, but
No.
version of Iron Jaw will eventually be showing up in the series. It's going to be a little while before I get to them.
Okay, cool.
Probably be in issue 9, so that's going to be 3 or 4 years from now at the rate I'm currently going. I'm hoping to speed things up so they come out faster, but right now there's only so fast I can draw. But yeah, so Iron Jaw's not in issue 3. He will be appearing later on in the series, though.
No excuses. You draw faster, man. You draw faster.
All right, I'm just going to tell my boss at work, hey, I've got to draw right now. Just
priorities. All right. So welcome
Yeah.
in Mike Wheeler. Welcome in Dennis Elghazi. I believe you said hello to Mouse Talk. If we missed anybody, Walton, almost Mickey Sightings. Welcome in, guys.
The Philly crew. More.
Cool. The Philly crew. Awesome. So all right. So okay, so right now we are in the Kickstarter program for issue number 2.
that's right.
So what happens next? Like the next step. So we go to you've reached your initial goals, right? So
That's
now
right.
you can go to print at late next month. Like I imagine you've already started drawing probably issue 3, or
I'm still finishing up issue 2.
okay.
I've had a lot of unexpected life challenges the last months. So I expected this to be issue 2 to be completely done in November, and I'm not quite finished with it yet. I will have it done before I receive the money from Kickstarter next month. I'm very close to being finished, but haven't been able to. In a best case scenario, I'll be able to start issue 3 before the Kickstarter's over, so I can start sharing some of the teasers. I know what the story is for issue 3. I just haven't had time to draw yet. But basically what'll happen is, I'll get the money, I'll send out to the printer, they'll send it back, I'll mail out the copies. Now, if you have a higher level tier rewards, there's a couple where I'll draw you I'll personally draw a cover for you, hand drawn on a blank sketch of whatever you want me to draw. Last issue, there's someone that got that option, and they specifically wanted me to draw a cover where Chuck and Trixie were being eaten by Ewoks.
That's awesome.
I drew the cover of Ewoks on Endor eating my main characters.
That was so funny.
I don't know why I wanted that, but as long as there's nothing pornographic or something, whatever you want, I'll draw on the cover. Those rewards take longer for me to ship out because I have to draw them by hand, and that takes a lot longer for me than doing it digitally. So if anyone has something with like a sketch cover or sketch card, those will be being sent out a little later. It'll probably be the end of May before I'm able to finish those and get them sent out. My sincere hope is that I will have issue 3 done no later than the end of July, so I can go to Kickstarter in the end of July and August. The big show for independent creators like me is called Mice. It's in Boston, in this area anyway, in October. So I really want to have the 3rd issue in hand to bring to Mice. So that's my hope. I'm trying to do 2 issues a year every 6 months. As I mentioned, the challenges I've had the last few months have slowed me down a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to get back on track. I'm also hoping to do a couple spin-off books, but I'm not ready to announce those yet for sure, because those are things where I'm going to have to hire an artist to draw, because I just can't draw anything faster than I'm currently doing. But I've got a story that'll spin out of Crimebusters that I'm hoping to do also this year. I've got the whole story written. I just need to find an artist to do it. So I'll let you know as soon as I can officially announce that, but you might see that 3rd project sometime this year too.
Any more pops that you're gonna do? Of Chuck.
For now, no. The Funko Pops, I love them, but they're very hard to do. I also, I'm not great at it, so they didn't turn out. They look really cool, particularly with the packaging. But they weren't quite as nice as I wanted them to be. And honestly, I didn't get many orders for them either. It didn't seem to be a huge demand. So for now, if I do that again, I will probably do it for some of the other characters. The first issue, we had Funko Pops, custom Funko Pops that I made myself for Chuck and Trixie. If I do it again, it'll probably be for Vera. Vera is one of the other characters. We saw the cover earlier with her in space wearing the jetpack.
Yeah.
She's got a backup story in the 2nd issue that's all about her. And so I might do a Vera Funko Pop for a future release, but we'll see. There wasn't really that much demand for them, so
You can do a Squeaks.
Oh,
Squeaks
that'd
one.
be challenging.
that would be tough. That would be tough. I've thought about doing instead of Funko Pops, some people do custom Lego figures for the characters.
Oh.
I'm looking into that, but I haven't gotten that sorted out early enough for this campaign. It would have to be issue 3 before I can figure that out, I think.
Cool. All right. So my next question is regarding Chuck and Trixie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do they have a favorite food?
Well, so the stories are set in the mid-50s, so they have, I think, a very sort of Americana thing. And Chuck in particular, he's sort of like a Boy Scout. He's very much like a Captain America type of person. So I think he would have to have a very traditional foods. I think his favorite food would probably be just a burger, and then fries, and then afterwards apple pie. He's definitely a sort of classic meat and potatoes and apple pie sort of
I was
person.
thinking milkshake.
Yeah, milkshake. Yeah, very Trixie. I think Trixie is a pizza person.
Pizza person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trixie likes pizza.
Awesome. Now, some of our readers might want to know, is there a romantic interest between Chuck and Trixie coming up in the future? Possibly.
We'll have to see. Well,
We'll
in
have
the
to
second
see.
issue, there's a little bit of a relationship, but it's being hinted at, but it doesn't necessarily involve Chuck and Trixie. So
Oh,
there might be other people who they are interested in. So we'll have to see how their relationship develops. That's something that we're just gonna have to see. You know, the first issue they didn't exactly start off on the best of terms. They were definitely butting heads, so it might take a while for them to warm up to each other.
cool.
Pam's
You
fam.
just have to wait and see.
Pam's fam, welcome in. Can't stay long. Just wanted to say hello. Awesome. Thank you for stopping in, guys.
Yes.
All right. So, did you have
Well,
any?
my comic related one was I was wondering what Comic Cons he was going to be at, but he already covered it.
Yep.
I was going to ask you if you were going to be going to the Ace Comic Con in Boston, but it didn't
I'm not
seem-
gonna have a table there. I might just go as a fan,
Okay.
Yeah.
but we're gonna have to see what the schedule looks like.
Yeah, we're going to be there on the 21st.
March. It's March.
March 21st is when we'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple shows in March that I thought about doing, but the Kickstarter is just gonna be ending. I'm gonna be right in the middle of trying to get the book published and stuff. It just seemed like too much to try and be at. There's a show at the library in Belmont also at the end of March, and I just decided not to do any shows until May so I can focus on getting this issue done and mailed out to everybody.
Yeah.
Did you ever check out that idea about the refrigerator magnets for your characters?
I did. The vendors I was looking at, it was a little too expensive to make it viable. I have a feeling that there's a way to do it cheaper. I just haven't quite found it yet.
Yeah, we like magnets, car magnets, and refrigerator
Yeah,
magnets.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
personally, but that'd be
Yeah.
cool to have that, as well as we also like pins.
Yeah.
We bought a couple of your pins on the Christmas tree this year,
Yeah.
and
So
and one's going on the backpack, so we'll be
yes.
representing in Florida this year.
Yep.
So that'll be fun. Yeah, we have some things on our backpack. It's like,
Yep.
and actually, people actually read the stuff on our backpack for some
They
reason.
do.
They're
We'll
always
hear them behind us.
tapping me
Disney
on the
Nerds,
shoulder.
What's
and
that?
All right. So So I think that's all we wanted to. All the questions we had about
Do you have any more
Crimebusters.
questions?
Did you have any more about? Do you want to go?
What is the name of the third issue?
We gotta finish the second
He's
issue
working
first.
on the second.
Spoilers for the third.
I can tell you the name of the third issue. The story in third issue is called "The Spell of the Sorcerer."
Who is the bad guy?
Ooh, we got to
We'll have to wait and see. We're gonna have to wait and see.
man.
You gotta read
Is
it.
it Merlin?
I don't know. It's a sorcerer. All right, buddy. We'll see you later.
He's trying to squeeze.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye, Avery. All right, don't knock the table.
What's happening for lunch?
Cool, man.
All right, bye, Ben.
So, Scott, anything else you want to touch about before we head on to the Disney World stuff? Or
I think that just about covered it. Again, I just want to reiterate, I really enjoyed and appreciated Avery's involvement. And I'm glad that, the Kickstarter community and just the comics community in general get a chance to see his comic. I've been sharing, the link to the Disney Nerd Herders channel, specifically,
thank you.
Avery 3001 episodes, so people can see Avery's comic. And when this is done tomorrow, I'll be sending out an update to all the backers for the Kickstarter so far, highlighting Avery's cover, and I'll have a link to this so that they can watch it and see Avery. So yeah, it's really great. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do this.
Well, thank you for involving Avery. First of all,
Yes.
man, we were floored when you called me. I was like, "What? Wow, it's awesome!"
Yeah.
And then Stacy was the same way. And
I couldn't
as soon as
believe
we
it.
told Avery, he had the
His
smile on his face. He was
just
like,
lit up.
"Really?" Because
Yeah.
so So he was, you could tell, and then he went straight to the thing and started drawing stuff. And,
I know. I know that
so,
inspired him to do the drawing. That's
yeah.
funny.
So it's very, very nice of you to do this, and we really appreciate it. And
It's my pleasure.
I think Avery's gonna get a kick out of it when we
Oh,
finally
yeah.
get when we finally get it in the mail. I think we got to hang it up in his room or something.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
so-
Yeah, I have to get a few of them because I know different people are gonna want a copy. So
Yeah, well, we did the stuff through the Kickstarter, but we plan on
Okay.
getting more
Oh,
when
yeah,
we see you
definitely.
live and stuff. So
yeah.
that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait until he's at a Comic-Con with Avery's cover and Avery sees it.
Gonna be
You know,
freaking
like
out,
I'm
yeah.
gonna want a video of him seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, we're gonna want
actually
pictures
get-
of you guys in front of it and
Yes,
stuff, man. That'll be
yes.
awesome. All right, man. Are we ready to do? Are you ready for some Disney World stuff?
I'm ready for Disney. I'm always ready for Disney World.
Now, all right. So there was some stuff that during pre-show production you had mentioned something that we were not aware of, and we are very interested in. Now, you said that some Disney World resorts
Some
around the
Disney
world
yeah.
are going to be creating or starting to go forward with Avengers themed land.
Yeah, that's
park?
right. There's 3 different parks that are going to have Avengers themed areas. It's a Disneyland in California, Disneyland Paris, and Hong Kong. And the one in Hong Kong is actually furthest along. They already have a couple rides there. They've got an Ant-Man and the Wasp ride.
Wow.
Wow.
But they're not going to have it in Florida because the rights to the Disney characters at the theme parks east of the Mississippi are held by Universal. So if you go to Florida, all the
Universal.
Marvel characters in Florida are at Universal. So it's not going to be there. But basically, there's going to be Avengers themed rides in an area in each of those 3 parks. They're going to be slightly different from my understanding, but they're going to be interconnected. So like, I know one of them's got like an Iron Man ride that's not at the other 2. One of them's got the Ant-Man ride that's not at the other 2. And so they're gonna have different like restaurants. I think I was seeing that like there's one of them's a Stark Expo like themed restaurant in one place, but another place it's a Hank Pym themed like Honey I Shrunk the Audience sort of place. So
Yeah.
they're going to be interconnected experiences, but you'll need to go to like all 3 countries basically on 3 different continents to see the whole Avengers experience because it's sort of spread out among all the different parks.
When I think about Avengers themed rides and stuff, I got to be honest, not Ant-Man stuff does not come to my mind first.
Right.
I can see how they can use the Honey I Shrunk the Audience type of idea thing, and then making them big and making them small, or whatever.
Yeah.
That would work in a ride, I think.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my first thought. You're always thinking.
No, there's some sort of Spider-Man thing that's coming to a couple different parks. I'm curious. It's called Spider-Man Slingshot. I don't really know too much about it. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy ride in California they might be bringing to some of the other parks as well. Honestly, I haven't announced it I think at D23 last year, so I haven't really seen too much about it. But as a big Avengers fan from way back in the day, Avengers is my favorite comic starting in the mid 80s. So something I want to see for sure.
Yeah.
In Florida because Florida is my preferred Disney destination, but
Ours too. Obviously, well, we haven't been to any others, but we keep talking about it.
I know.
Someday when we win the lottery, we'll do 2 trips in 1 year. I don't want to sacrifice our annual Disney World trip to go exploring elsewhere at this moment.
Yeah.
Right.
The pull is getting greater, so I imagine we're going to get out to California eventually.
Yeah.
And I personally would love going. I want to see Tokyo. I know that. So that would be probably the next one after California, or that might be this like one giant trip: go out to California, go to Tokyo, and then come back. Maybe I don't know.
I love Tokyo. I mean, I loved Japan when I was there, so I strongly encourage a trip to Japan.
Yeah.
And you get to see Tokyo Disney Sea if you go there with all the rides that they don't have at any of the other parks. So,
and I heard they're so friendly.
Including we talked about this last time, but the New England fishing village area of the,
Right.
which is fun. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Lorena Zapata is here.
Lorena, welcome in.
Good morning.
Lorena Zapata. Yeah, so we have a few more minutes we can talk about. Then I have to do some house cleaning, but
Okay.
we still have some. Do you know? I know you just went down there to the Walt Disney World recently.
yes.
So does that mean you're not going to probably go back for a couple of years, or are you going to try to go more often? You think, or
We'll see. It's tough. My wife and I really. She likes Disney a lot too, not quite as much as I do, but she really likes it a lot. So we've definitely talked about going down there as like a bigger family thing, either with her brother or my brother or something like that. And we've started tentatively planning a trip for 2025, but that's obviously 5 years away. That'll be the 50th anniversary of our first trip. In 1975 was the first time that my brother and I went to Disney, so I wanted to go back for our 50th. You can see behind me is a commemorative blanket that my mom bought in 2000 that says the Harris family 25 years.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's important to me to go back for our 50th. But I certainly don't want to wait 5 years before I go to Disney again.
yeah, I don't know how we're going to go.
So, yeah.
More than a year without going back.
I know.
I want to go back after they've completed the renovation of Epcot. I love Epcot, and I'm both excited and skeptical because it feels like they're going to have a lot of fun new rides, but the stuff I've seen, it doesn't feel like really the spirit of Epcot. It feels like, to me, it feels like they're turning it into like a really cool theme park as opposed to, the experimental prototype Community of Tomorrow. I liked all the sort of science stuff and the innovation and the original like 80s Epcot feel.
Yeah.
And I think that after this, that might be completely gone for good. So
Yeah, me too.
I want to see it because I have a feeling I'm really going to enjoy the individual rides. I'm just not sure how much I'm going to like the new Epcot experience compared to the original Epcot. But my guess is we'll probably go. We sort of want to do the Star Wars stuff with the hotel, but from what I've seen, that's maybe a little too immersive. So I don't know. My guess is we'll probably go back in a couple years. Also, the people I work for have a couple times now brought us all down to Orlando for work, and we have like a day out where we go to the parks. So it's possible that I may have a day here or there at the parks by myself or with my coworkers. But in terms of a big trip, I'm guessing it'll be a year or two. We love to travel. It's always difficult trying to decide, do we go somewhere we've already been that we know we love, or do we go somewhere new? And usually we end up going somewhere new. So
Yeah.
it won't be too long, but it'll probably be a year or two at least before we get back there.
We always end up going back to somewhere we love. So.
Yeah. Well, we get the kids, and
they love it.
Avery's very comfortable at Disney World. So
yeah, and when it's like Avery I think he would love to go to Australia and see the Australia Zoo and stuff like that, but not the 13-hour flight or however long the flights are.
Oh yeah, it's like 20. It's 20. It was 20. We went to New Zealand and it was 24 hours.
That's insane.
I couldn't even do that.
It was almost 22 hours on the plane, but then when you have the layovers and all the travel, it was more than 24. It's a long ways.
Wow.
Cool. All right. So, do you have any predictions for the 50th anniversary? You think they're going to do another cake castle?
I don't think they're going to do a cake castle. I don't know what they're going to do. I loved the cake castle. I can understand why some people really, really didn't like it, but I loved it personally. I always I've been there 28 times. So every time when I go and there's something new that I haven't seen before, it's always, the most interesting to me. So the cake, for me, I loved it. I don't think they're going to do that again. I don't know what they're going to do, but I am looking forward to seeing what they do.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, with the new technology they have and those projections, the laser projections, they can put anything on the castle now.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if at night times, at some point, they do put they turn the castle into some type of cake or something during that
Yeah, I
during
didn't
that
mind
period.
the cake.
Because it's just projections. It's not you can take it
Right,
down
right,
and
right.
Yeah.
for 3 minutes or something. It's to
Right.
be
Yeah, I didn't mind the cake, and I think part of it was because I knew it wasn't going to be permanent. So
Yeah,
I
it
thought it
wasn't.
was like it was just
It
a
was
special.
different. And
It was like a special time period.
Yeah, I didn't.
I knew I was going to go back, so I didn't mind it. Well, other people hated it.
Yeah, I didn't mind it when it first came out. I was fine with it, and then looking at some pictures like a few years ago, I was like, I didn't really like it, but then I kind of like it again. It's like a weird
Yeah.
thing.
I can understand the people that have always wanted to go to Disney and they finally get a chance to go. And instead of Cinderella's castle, or instead of the castle, it's just a giant
Fluorescent pink.
cake. I can understand those people being upset, but I liked it. So
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, all right, Dennis says Epcot has to evolve. Besides the 3 rides, Soarin', Test Track, and Mission Space, I'm all about dining at World Showcase.
Oh yes.
Adulting, yes. I
Yes.
love World Showcase too. I love the shopping
That's our
and I love
favorite.
walking around and I love the music. A lot of things. I think the music doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah.
I absolutely there's some music in Epcot. That's my favorite music loop to listen while I'm at work. I listen to the Epcot music loop and it's like 45 minutes long and I can just listen to it again and again. And it has all these different it brings you to a certain place in Epcot or a
Yes.
certain country in Epcot or a certain area. And the music is a big trigger for me, especially in the theme parks. I love it.
Yeah.
I've always been a Future World person. I've never been that into the World Showcase, and I do a lot of traveling, as you know. So I'm lucky that at this point, I've actually been to all the countries in World Showcase except China and Morocco. But my wife's been to Morocco. She's also been to Africa, if you want to count that little
Oh yeah.
one tiny little hut on the side of the.
Yeah.
So I enjoy the World Showcase. Don't get me wrong, but since I've been to those countries, it doesn't quite hold the same.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the new rides there. Like I wanted the Ratatouille ride and stuff like that.
Yeah, us too. That's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome.
I can't wait for that.
So for me, but it's always been for me is the Future World Showcase. I love the. I used to love where where they had the innovation where like you come after you go past the Earth, they have those two like semi circular buildings there.
Yeah.
And they used to have all sorts of like new technology. You could go in there and they'd have like a polling booth where they have like a map of the country and you like take these polls, you just like sit in there and they poll you on different like questions of the day. All that stuff, trying email for the first time at Epcot Center, and like that stuff I loved, and that's like I hate to see that all that go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna stay around. Yeah, we used to create those well, not in that area, in the imagination place. We used to
Yeah, the
create we
figments.
used to make the figment and
Figment
email the
set.
figment that we created.
Yeah.
Or whatever
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, but again, I remember, when we first started going to Epcot, we would check out all those places. Epcot, the east and the west things, but I have to admit that we
We don't.
didn't do them as
no.
much lately,
No.
and that's probably why. It's like they have to change it because I think maybe people just don't want to do it again, or it wears out, and they just don't want to. And as they add new things, people's time I think becomes more valuable, and they're like, okay, do I want to do this new ride or do I want to go back to Communicore East or whatever? And I think the tech places always lose out when you're making those types of choices.
Yeah.
The people just want to see what's new, or they want to spend their time on what's new.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And again, I love some of the stuff. You have the nostalgia or whatever, and I miss a lot of the old stuff.
Yeah.
But I can see how they got to keep on.
They got to keep
moving
up with what the
forward.
people
Yeah,
want,
yeah.
and I think the younger generation is looking more for fast stuff.
Donovan Blaney, welcome
Yeah.
in. Dances with Goofy Adventures. Dances with Goofy Adventures. Welcome. Sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's almost afternoon.
Almost, yeah. All right. So, all right. So I have some quick questions for you, Scott.
Let's go.
Your favorite land in Magic?
You just cut out on me. I don't know if I'm still here. My favorite land in Magic Kingdom is Tomorrowland. Oh, I've lost you completely. I'm not seeing. They are frozen. Okay, I'm taking over the podcast. Apparently, I'm the only one still left here. So I guess welcome to the new Disney Nerd Herder show. I'm your brand new host, Scott Harris King. So I do have a couple things that I can share with you since they're missing currently. I have these comics that are based on Disney rides. I don't know if they've actually read them, but I brought them here because I thought it might be interesting to discuss these at some point. They've Marvel and Disney have put out this series of comics based on Disney theme park rides. So that's something interesting. Let's see. I've got while we're just filling space, I've got the here's one of the brochures from Disney World. This was the brochure that they had the first time that I went to the parks in 1975. I got this off of eBay a while ago, just pure nostalgia. You want to take a look at. Sorry, let me see. This is the inside. It's got like all these cool pictures. And then there's like it's like a guide not just to the kingdom but to the whole. This was the entirety of Disney World at the time when this came out. It's also got this cool thing on the back that explains which rides are which different tickets, because this is back when they still had the ticketing system, the A, the B, the C, and the D. You remember the E-ticket rides. I've also got another one here. This is from a little later, 1988. Same sort of thing, but now it includes Epcot. This is an interesting sort of slice of history. Because this came out in '88, it was the year before MGM Studios, so it was like the last thing they did there. Are you back?
We're back.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Was
Scott.
it working? Was it still going?
The chat said I was still going, so I was just filling space. I was sharing my brochures from my class. I also shared some comics that are based on Disney rides. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. They have the Journey in Imagination comics. So I tried. I told them I was taking over from now on.
Awesome. I don't know. That's the second time in a row that our thing is cut off in the middle of a stream. So I'm gonna have to start yelling at some
We'll have to call
Comcast people, or something. I don't know, or whatnot. But thank you.
I think it was still going. It was a little hard to tell.
Well, that's great that it was
talking at my computer. Worst case, I just look like a weirdo, but that's fine.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I took over with my secret agenda of what I wanted to really, really talk about here.
Start taking over the world.
Yeah.
I've dusted off the Disney nerd herders. I'm in control. All right, man. So I missed out on what your favorite land is in Magic Kingdom.
It's Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland.
Yeah, it's always Tomorrowland.
What is your favorite drink? What do you like to drink in Magic Kingdom or in Disney World in general?
I've got a lot of stomach issues, so I really only drink water. Except last time I was there, it was actually pretty chilly. It was quite chilly, so some hot cocoa. I was able to get a couple places.
Oh, I like hot cocoa.
They have these Joffrey's coffee shops that have popped up around. Apparently, they're big fans of Game of Thrones now at Disneyland. So anyway, yeah, I got a big hot cocoa in Tomorrowland at the Joffrey's.
Cool. Yeah. The Joffrey's place, that's right. I think if we're talking about the same place, right behind the Tomorrowland Transit Authority, right?
Yeah,
It's like
that's
right
right.
there.
Yeah.
For a while, they had my Arnold Palmer half frozen lemonade, half frozen iced tea.
Yeah.
But then they got rid of it. Man, they kept it for like a year, and
Yeah.
that really disappointed me. Do you have a favorite go-to snack food?
Again, because I've had
Oh yeah.
it's really hard for me to, I would say in the past, I mean, I definitely had specific dining tricks. I would go to the I just blanked on the name, the over in Liberty Square, the
Columbia Harbor House.
Columbia Harbor House, and I would order the soup would come in a bowl of bread, like they
Oh, the bread bowl. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I would get the bread bowl, but with no soup in it. And then I would get fries, and you get like a dipping sauce for the bread, and just eat so it's just all carbs.
Yeah.
I also the turkey legs. I was a big fan of turkey legs, but
Yeah.
not so much.
I used to love the turkey legs. Like the first maybe 10 years we used to go.
They've definitely
But
changed.
then they started getting a lot more cartilage in them, and they started changing a little bit. I don't know
Yeah.
if they started feeding the turkeys different or got them from a different place or
Well,
something.
back in the Old West, they had a lot more cartilage in their turkeys, so they're just trying to give you the authentic Western experience now.
Because they're tough cowboys. They like the cartilage in their turkey.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Favorite character? Favorite Disney character?
Donald Duck, I think, is my favorite. Yeah.
Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Stacey, do you have anything for him?
Well, one of them was going to be a food question because you've been to all the different Disney parks, right?
Yeah.
All over the
Yeah.
world. What park had the best food that you could eat? Because I know Japan, they have their rolls look different.
The bread looks totally different. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Epcot is probably still my favorite for food. The broadest variety because they have all the different restaurants around the World Showcase.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
My favorite has always been the Mexico, the one in Mexico, but I don't
really
anymore. It's been a few years since I've had a chance to go there. Nowadays, now I'd probably go to the Land. That's what we did last time. There's a lot more healthy options. I can sort of design my own thing at the Land. So yeah, I'd say Epcot, I think, has the best food.
Yeah. We always hit up the Land, the seasons.
The sunshine seasons. Yeah, I mean it's like a food court. It's like they have a bunch of different options, and Avery loves it. He always ends up getting salmon there, and
I think he likes because you can pretty much pick. You can go into each line and get a side of whatever you want in each line, so there's more variety.
And it's quick service, so
it's
you're in there and you're out.
Yeah. It's always good food too. It's not the typical just chicken nuggets and fries.
Yeah. Welcome in, Disney girl.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. And thank you all for
staying on.
And thank you, Scott, for entertaining everybody while we were.
I did my best.
I'm so
pulled my shirt off, and I
was gonna say you tapped in.
So.
Well, I'm glad we didn't lose the whole stream this time because last time we lost the whole stream. It's like.
I have another question. Have you drawn any Disney characters, or do you have a favorite character that you like to draw?
I haven't drawn any recently. I mean, I've drawn Mickey a few times, just a few circles, but not really. No, I can't say I ever really drew many Disney characters.
Okay. Yeah, Stacey does a really good job. Let me show him your stitch.
It's fair.
It's good. Look at her stitch. She always He has our Stitch here, right? That's pretty good for.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, and I think this is probably my favorite. This one with Scrooge McDuck.
Oh yeah.
That one's pretty good.
He's missing his neck.
He's missing his what? His
From the
neck.
comics. Scrooge created from the comics.
Yeah.
And then we have these guys Stacy did for Jim. We gotta ship these out.
I know we
sometime.
haven't shipped anything out.
Do you know who these guys are from?
Yeah, it's from Mr. Toad.
Hey,
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah. And,
A ride that I loved and I wish was still around.
Yeah.
And she did Mr. Toad. Look at that.
You know what I would love if they had like a nostalgia land, which was a separate park you could go in that has all the discontinued rides set up there, so you could go in and just do like Mission to Mars and I mean that ride was terrible, but like if you had Wings, the Delta Dream Flight,
Yes.
like that was a favorite of mine. I would love to just have a land with all the discontinued rides where you could just go in and ride.
fun.
They should do that as the fifth gate. They should do
It would be
Nostalgia
very
Land.
popular.
I think it would be.
You.
I'd be going. I'd want to
'Cause
see Horizons again.
We've
and
talked to a lot of Disney
World of
people,
Motion.
and they all say the same thing, that they miss all those rides.
like the Maelstrom and all that. Yeah.
And I if they made it a different, that would be very popular. I think it would pull a lot of people.
yeah.
So
All right, so I need to do some housekeeping
Yeah.
at the moment. So our next show is on Wednesday, coming up February 12th, 7 p.m. We are going to have Jim from More Sunshine Please on the channel, as well with Greg from Expedition Greg.
Yeah.
So they're going to be joining us. So we're going to have some fun. Don't forget to check out More Sunshine Please's show. He's on Tuesdays at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and then Mouse Talk has Sanity on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. D&G Explorers are on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. So go check out their show. They're currently in Epcot right now with Jim from More Sunshine Please, and we're very jealous.
yeah.
Yeah, they're posting pictures. And February 19th, we have Dean from Dreamers Empire, and he also does the liveplace.com. He is basically the TV guide of all family-friendly live streams, not just Disney stuff, but
Right.
anything family-friendly. Go check out the liveplace.com, and he has a bunch of I think he's almost up to 100 live streams that he puts on. He creates this like online TV guide for live streamers, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do Philly Crew at 9 o'clock on Thursdays. Go check them out. They do some fun stuff. We always check them out, and they have so many. They like have so much Disney stuff. It's insane. They can have their own warehouse. Also, Five Foolish Mortals with me and Ben from Pepper Tree Villa and Jim from More Sunshine Please and Derek and Gregory from D&G Explorers. Our next show is February 22nd at 5 o'clock. So I believe it's 2 weeks from yesterday, I believe. So we're going to be doing a quiz,
Like a trivia.
a trivia show where Ben is going to be the Alec Trebek of YouTube, and he's going to be questioning me and Jim and Derek and Gregory, and then we get to challenge him with our questions for him.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know Ben is a trivia king. So it's going to be hard to stump Ben.
Yeah. Especially with
and-
Disney questions.
And then let's see, we have February 10th, tomorrow. Tomorrow, go check out Pepper Tree Villa at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. They're gonna have a taste of Valentine's Day show where they're gonna have a bunch of people on their show, and they're gonna be tasting a bunch of different stuff that is Valentine's Day oriented. I'm not
picturing a
sure
lot of
exactly.
chocolate.
Yeah, it must be chocolate and heart-shaped stuff and pink stuff, and
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think when you think of Valentine's Day snacks? I'm not sure if I think
Chocolate.
it must be chocolate and little hearts with
Yeah, the candy hearts. Yeah. Sugar.
the little candy hearts. Scott, what do you got coming up? Anything coming up on your channel, or are you just you just in the full game of Crimebusters?
Right now, at some point I'm going to be doing like a Facebook live feed show with some other creators whose projects are also currently live on Kickstarter. but unfortunately, we haven't been able to figure out the date for that yet. I wish I could announce when that's going to be. If you go to Facebook, I have a group there, the Crimebusters. I'm on Facebook, so if you follow that, there'll be announcements on there. And then once that's done, if I can figure out the technology, I will also be posting that video on my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to watch it after the fact. But I don't know when that's going to be. I just did a podcast you can listen to. It's called White Rocket, or the podcast host is Van Plexico. We talk all about comics in general, specifically about my comic, but also the Avengers, because he's a big Avengers fan. So if you want to listen to that, you can listen to that podcast. Otherwise, yeah, again, the Kickstarter's live. I was going to post the link here in the chat, but I don't think I know how to do that.
I did put the link in the description below for anyone who's looking for it. It's definitely, I put, where is it? Yeah, so yeah, I put your channel and the the Crimebusters Kickstarter link is in the description below.
So for anyone who came in late, just to reiterate, my second issue of my comic, The Crimebusters, currently live on Kickstarter. The story in this issue, The Secret of the Ghost Bride, it's loosely inspired by The Haunted Mansion, but more importantly, one of the variant covers you can get through the Kickstarter was drawn by Avery. It's a crossover with Super Avery and my characters from the Crimebusters. So if you want to support Avery, will be getting a portion of the money from each of the copies of his cover that are sold. And basically, I just want to, provide a broader platform for Avery's work. So
yeah, that'll be going to charity too. So.
Under Kickstarter rules, I'm not officially allowed to announce that it's going to charity, but I can.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. We're not on Kickstarter, so it's fine. I want to put it in the Kickstarter itself to say that was going to go to charity, except for it's against the rules there. So what I can say is that I'll be giving some of the money to Avery, and my understanding is, I have it on good authority, it'll then be going to charity. So
yes, thank you very much.
But anyway, you can see that on Kickstarter. You can see Avery's cover with the Super Avery variant.
Cool. Are you familiar with StreamYard? Do you think you're going to be doing like a live stream show on YouTube at some point in the future?
At some point, I'd like to. It would be something that would be nice to do during my Kickstarter campaigns, so I can answer questions from my backers theoretically. But I've used it as a guest. I've never done it myself, so I'm not really sure how it.
Super easy. Yeah, if you ever need anything, just let me know.
All right, I'll do that.
It's really, really easy. It's easier than the old thing that used to be on Google. I forgot the name of it now, but it's if I can use it, definitely anyone can use it. I'm an idiot. So all right. So hey, Walter Grams, Dougie, welcome in. Dougie's from Scotland, Scott. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Walter Grams.
And Kay Atwood.
Kay Atwood, welcome in. Yeah, we've got some people from all over the world here. All over the world, man. Yeah. Cricket Fox, we have a guy who comes in from Australia. We have someone that comes in from Brazil, and YouTube is funny. It's crazy. And for anyone who's a new subscriber or anyone who's been supporting us and sharing out our channels, just want to say thank you. We are up to like 639. We just passed 600 like last week, so we're up to 639 now, which is insane for us. So awesome. Our goal is to try to get to 1,000 by our next trip in August, so we don't have to use Streamlab to go live. But well, we just cross our fingers and hopefully get there, but not going to stress out about it. But yeah, Scott, anything else you wanted to mention before we close up today?
No, just thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your support with the comic, and
thank you for having
talking about comics, but I also love talking about Disney. It's a perfect fit.
Thanks for involving Avery again.
Yeah.
I mean, you made us.
And also next time, I'll prepare some extra stuff so that if your feed goes down, I'll have stuff to hijack the feed. I tried to fill that space as best I could with some of my Disney paraphernalia, which I still had lying here on the floor from last time I was on your show. So it was helpful that I was too slovenly to put it away. I was able to just grab it and.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
I know. We're
I'll
gonna
have to
have to
watch
watch-
that.
Well, there's definitely a good 30 seconds where I was just confused. But it's still going. People in the chat said that it was still running, so I just tried to fill the space.
Awesome. Yeah, all right. So yeah, Mickey Sightings has it said we're still not able to go live. It takes over a month for YouTube system to catch up.
Wow.
Yeah, they just got their community to have so they just got the community thing yesterday. So they made 1,000 like maybe last month. So yeah, so it's or maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it takes a while for once you reach there, for them to put all the systems and everything up.
Mm.
Yeah. Yes, and Dances with Goofies. She has 1K but she can't go live yet because of the hours. Yeah, you need 1,000 followers, but you also need 4,000 hours, viewing hours.
Yeah.
So we're right at about 2,900 hours. So we need 1,100 more hours, but I think we will get that by August. I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, we've been doing pretty good with hours and whatnot.
Yeah.
I just viewed this for an hour, so right there, it's another hour.
That's right. And I'm gonna put your section out on TikTok and everything. I'm just gonna throw you out there. Increase our- no, that'd be funny. All right, guys. Well, thank you for.
I don't think Stacy saw my shirt.
Oh yeah, did you see it? Lance had that made for him.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the castle that's in Worcester. I guess it's
Yeah.
It's like a Disney themed Worcester castle.
That's cool.
Yeah. Does it have any princesses in that castle?
I don't think so. I think it's
What's
like Super Mario Brothers. The princess, unfortunately, is in another castle. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, we use Streamlabs too. We use Streamlabs. Well, thank you everybody for stopping by for our special Sunday editions. You know, we used to do Sundays all the time, but we switched to Tuesdays. Wednesdays. Why do I keep on showing my? No wonder why no one shows up, because I keep on sending everyone notice on Tuesdays. Our Wednesdays at 7, not quite ready for prime time. That's exactly why we're not quite ready for prime time, because I keep on messing up. But anyway, Scott, thank you again for being our guest. You are welcome on the show anytime.
Yeah.
And,
Thanks for having me.
Everyone, go check out his channel. Go check out the Kickstarter. It's in the links in the description. The links are in the description down below. Scott's an awesome guy. He's been a really good friend to us and the channel for a long time, and we really appreciate you, Scott, for everything you do.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And everybody else, thank you for stopping by today. And I guess we'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Not Tuesday, Wednesday. All right, guys. And thank you all. And don't forget to do your duty.
And it's a big duty.
And we will see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.